Hey guys, today we are going to review what we've learned about polygons and a little more specifically about quadrilaterals. So first, the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a convex polygon is 1,440 degrees. Classify it by its number of sides. So we are going to give it a name based on its number of sides. Okay, so that means when we do n minus 2 times 180, for this particular polygon, we get 1,440. So to solve this equation for n, we can divide both sides by 180 and get n minus 2 equals, and then we've got 1440 divided by 180, and that is 8. So we get n minus 2 equals 8. And then we can add 2, and we get n is 10. So this polygon has 10 sides, which means it is a decagon. Find the sum of the measures of the interior angles for a convex 27gon. So a 27gon has 27 sides, so 27 minus 2 will tell us the number of triangles we can make out of it. And each triangle has 180 degrees. So that's 25 times 180. And that is 4,500. So this polygon, this 27gon, has 4,500 degrees on its interior. Give the most specific name for each quadrilateral. So this quadrilateral here has 4 congruent sides, which makes it a rhombus. And it has a right angle. And in a rhombus, because it's a type of parallelogram, opposite angles will be congruent. So it actually has 4 right angles. So this quadrilateral is a square. 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles. This quadrilateral has opposite sides congruent, and that is all that we know about it. They're not all 4 congruent to each other, so this is a parallelogram. This next one has 4 sides that are congruent, but I don't know anything about the angles. They look like right angles, but I don't know that they are. So all I know for sure is that it has 4 congruent sides. That makes this a rhombus. Our next quadrilateral has exactly 1 pair of opposite sides parallel, which makes it a trapezoid. It also has 1 pair of base angles congruent, which makes this an isosceles trapezoid. The next one here has 4 congruent sides. That makes it a type of rhombus. Okay, now it's got 3 90-degree angles. That's 270 degrees with 90 left. So that means this one is also a right angle. We have 4 right angles and 4 congruent sides. That makes this a square. And our last one has opposite sides parallel, and I know nothing about any angles. Even though they look like right angles, I don't know that they are. 2 pairs of opposite sides parallel makes this a parallelogram. Next, we will classify each quadrilateral and find the value of each variable. So I've got 4 congruent sides. That makes this, for part A, a rhombus. Let's go ahead and classify this one. I've got 4 congruent sides, which means it's a rhombus, but it also has 4 right angles, which means that for part A, this is a square. Okay, next we'll find the angle measures. We'll find the values of the variables. One of them is on an angle. So for x, we've got 2x minus 1, and here we've got a 127. As a rhombus, it is a type of parallelogram, which means these consecutive angles are supplementary. So I know that 2x minus 1 plus 127 is going to equal 180. Okay, so that means 2x plus 126 is 180. It's negative 1 plus 127. And when I subtract 126, I get 2x equals, and 180 minus 126 is 54. And I can divide both sides by 2, and I get x equals, and then 54 divided by 2 is 27. And then I know that these two sides are congruent, so that means that 6y minus 5 is equal to 3y plus 7. So I will subtract 3y, and I will add 5. And I get 3y equals 12, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, over here I know that all the sides are congruent, so I can put these x's, these two with x's equal to each other, so I get 5x minus 4 equals 3x. So I'll subtract 5x, and I get negative 4 equals negative 2x, and divide both sides by negative 2, so I get x equals, negative 4 divided by negative 2 is 2. Okay, then I also have these two to set equal to each other. 5y plus 1 is equal to 2y plus 4. So I will subtract 2y, and I'll subtract 1, and I'll get 3y equals 3. And divide by 3, and I get y equals 1. Okay, find the value of each variable. So here I have 5 angles. So I need to know the total that all of these angles will add up to. And to find that, I will do 5 minus 2 times 180. 5 minus 2 tells me how many triangles I could make out of this figure. And there's 180 degrees each. So 3 triangles times 180 is 540. So there will be 540 total degrees. Okay, so now I'll write an equation setting these angles, the sum of these angles, equal to 540. Okay, and then before I write this equation, I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms. 3x and 2x makes 5x. And then 64 plus 86 plus 110. And that is 260. So 64 plus 86 plus 110 is 260. So 5x plus 260 equals 540. So I'll subtract 260. I get 5x equals 540 minus 260 is 280. And I'll divide both sides by 5. 280 divided by 5 is 56. Okay, next up we have exterior angles, and exterior angles always will add up to 360. So if I combine my like terms, 2x and x makes 3x, plus 93 plus 75 is 168. So these two add up to 168. And the sum of all these exterior angles will be 360 degrees. And then 360 minus 168 is 192. Okay, then I can divide both sides by 3. 192 divided by 3 is 64. Our next one is another set of exterior angles, so I'll combine my like terms, 6x, 6x, and 8x. So that's 6 plus 6 plus 8 is 20. So I have 20x plus, then I have 20, 100, 60. So 20 plus 100 plus 60 is 180. And they are exterior angles, so they will add up to 360. So I'll subtract 180, and I get 20x equals, and 360 minus 180 is 180, and divide by 20. 180 divided by 20 is 9. Okay, and here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 interior angles. 7 minus 2 times 180, so that's 5 times 180 is 900. So there's a total of 900 degrees. So I'll combine my like terms, 16x, 34x, and 24x. 74x, so I have 74x plus, then I'll combine all of these constants, 158 plus 146 plus 124 plus 102 is 530, and that will all add up to 900 degrees. So we'll subtract 530. So we get 74x equals 370, and divide by 74, and we get x equals 5. Okay, so now we have 4 parallelograms, and we're going to find the values of the variables in each one. Okay, so in a parallelogram, opposite sides are congruent. So that means that x plus 2 will be equal to 4. So x is 2. It also means that y minus 5 is equal to 12. So we'll add 5 and get y is 17. In our next parallelogram, we have, once again, opposite sides congruent. So 8g minus 3 is equal to 25. So I'll add 3 and get 8g equals 28. And divide by 8. So I have 28 over 8. That's not going to divide evenly, but I can simplify that. 2 goes into both. 14 times and 4. I could simplify even more. 4 goes into both. 7 times and 2. So g is 7 over 2. And then in a parallelogram, consecutive angles are supplementary. So I can add these up and set them equal to 180. So f plus 30 plus 72 equals 180. 30 plus 72 is 102. And when I subtract 102, I get f equals 78. On our next parallelogram, once again we have opposite sides congruent. So 3x plus 4 is equal to 16. 16 minus 4 is 12. 3x equals 12. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. Opposite angles in a parallelogram are congruent. So y minus 60 equals 56. And 56 plus 60 is 116. In our last parallelogram here, we have diagonals, and diagonals bisect each other, which means these are congruent. So 3m equals m plus 8. I can subtract m from both sides and get 2m equals 8. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. And that also means these are congruent. So 2n minus 1 is equal to 9. 9 plus 1 is 10, so 2n equals 10. And divide by 2, and we get n equals 5. And we'll take a break right here and come back with a second video for page 2.